due to hustle culture at work is the new hot topic, and there is so much information out there. But how much of it is true? What information should we rely on, or do we hustle, or do we not hustle? Where is the boundary? Well, let's hear it from a professor of psychology, Mrs. Kamlesh Mahendru. She has over 34 years of experience in professing psychology and has a vast knowledge of the subject. Currently, she trains professionals. Hello, everyone. I am Vasundhara Shenoy, an intern at Dr. Shiva's mental health studio called Talkspace. This mental health month, we are trying to raise awareness with the theme making mental health and well-being a global priority for all. Today, we will be talking about stress at the workplace. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. We are privileged to have you here. So, assuming your positive response, I would like to ask you the first question. The first question is, people are often burned out and exhausted from work. When they are asked to do something about it, they say that it is normal and that everyone goes through it. I can't be the only one crying about it. So, what do you think about the same?
Vasundhara, your question is so relevant, especially in these days. Our problem is that we have a problem, but we don't want to accept it. Because we want to feel that all is well with the world when all is not actually well with the world. And the worst thing is that if we are not well, we go to a doctor. We show the prescription to so many people that this is what doctor has written, the medicine, and we compare. Did you also go for the same problem to a doctor? What did he prescribe, and telephone calls and all that? But when we go to a psychologist, when we are under stress, then we want to hide it. Then we don't even want to talk about it. So the same psyche works for your question also. We say, no, it is normal. But then there is another side to it, that it is good to feel normal till a stage when you are in stress. Because what my experience says is that till the time we are in a little stress, we cannot even perform. For performing also, you need stress. One thing. Another thing is that you must have read that we have two types of stress. One is eustress and the other is distress. Now, eustress releases positive hormones. Now, they are also needed for the society. Like supposing I'm being promoted to the next position, obviously I'm in stress, but then it is a happiness stress. We call it happiness stress, we call it positive stress. So that stress is not counted as stress for people. They say it is normal. When I'm going to the next position, or when I'm buying a new iPhone or anything, I would be in stress. But then I don't call it a stress because I like it. I like the stress. So that is the reason that they are not sure whether it is actually a stress or not. But surely they should be very clear about it, that when there is stress, whether it is positive or negative. I'll just give you a simple example. Workplace, I've given you that when a person is scolded by the boss, we call it negative stress. But when he's given promotion, we call it positive stress. At home or in families, when there's a wedding, we call it positive stress, right? When there's some death, we call it negative stress. Now, after wedding, you must have seen that everybody goes to sleep. When the girl goes away, everybody's sleeping, and so many people, they fall sick. Somebody's having fever, somebody's having cough. Now, that is all the result of the positive stress. So we have to be very clear that if the stress is there, we need some help, and as early as possible. We need to take the stress, but we need to be open about help, or what we call is therapy. So I think that will resolve the issue, and stress will be there. We cannot take it out of our life, but let us manage it. And if I cannot manage it, there are managers in the field. Let them manage my stress. That is what I feel about this question of yours.
That was a very insightful answer that was ripe with information. So I would like to ask you my next question. So what are the signs of stress at workplace?
Workplace is always challenging, especially these days. And if a person is in stress, It may be due to some biases in the boss mind. It may be due to too much work which he cannot handle. It may be due to lack of organization in him. It may be due to less intelligence in him. Because at times I've seen these days, street smart people are going ahead of anyone and everyone. But then ultimately, when intelligence is needed, they don't know what to do. Because somewhere down the lane, the knowledge of physics or chemistry or biology or maths helps you throughout your life. Recently, I read an article that no more comparisons will be done. No more grades will be given to the students. No more exams. Even India is trying to adopt it. But then I kept pondering over it. I kept thinking about it that a state where there is so much of population, a country like India where there is so much population, a stage has to be there when we have to compete. So why not start competing early so that the stress factor when you compete at the age of 25 and you don't know how to compete. So I think at least for India, these examinations are a gift. They are a blessing and we need to continue with them. Now, leaving apart this was just a story which I read. Now, I say that a person who is in stress during his working conditions or workplace will surely go into apathy. You know, in Punjabi, because I'm from Punjab, I would just conclude it in word, menu ki, mujhe kya? He'll go into that. Because when I'm not happy in my workplace, whether the work is happening or not, whether the targets are met or not, I'm not bothered. Another thing is that he would always feel that people are, partial towards him, negative towards him. He would stop communicating with his friends. He will go into apathy, not thinking about others. I'm not bothered what the others are doing. And he would be a loner. Now that is the beginning of stress. Maybe he doesn't even talk to his wife. A person came to me. We have escorts in Patiala, and they were, in very bad conditions. So many of them were ousted. So a person came to me. He did not tell his wife for 4 days that he does not have any position now, and he is every day he is going out and coming back at 5, though he's not going to the office. Now that is that he doesn't even want to discuss with his wife. I just asked him, I said, is your wife working? And he said, yes, my wife is working. I said, then there may be, there must be some people whose spouses are not working. So you are better off. Start something. Start anything that you can do. You have a house, you have good children, so why not do it? So these are the things which need to be handled. Especially during recession, I heard that people never discussed with their parents that we have been laid off. And they committed suicide because there were so many loans to be paid and so many other liabilities on them. So the signs of stress are that you become loner, you go into apathy, you start talking to yourself, just being with yourself, not talking to people, not being your normal self. You don't want to mix it with anyone. So that are the warning signals for people around us. If I'm going through all this, if you are around me, you need to see what is happening to my wife or what is happening to my husband or what is happening to my son. And as a student of psychology, it has never been difficult to see what is happening around me. But I think it is not only psychology, it is experience. If I'm living with a person who's always jovial, who's always talking, all of a sudden he stops talking, I think it's my duty, whether I'm at his workplace or I'm at home with him, to look into the change in his behavior. So these are some of the conditions that happen, and we do come to know that the stress is knocking at the door.
Thank you so much for that response. That was really wonderful. It was really informative and it shed some lights on details that were not spoken before. So, my next question. So, what are your views about hustle culture, grind culture, or burnout culture, where one goes beyond their call of duty to get some more work done? So now better pay, validation, productivity guilt, these are some reasons to it. So what do you think contribute to these reasons and how would you deal with them professionally?
Uh, Burnout is happening. It's happening with a great speed. People are leaving their jobs where they were getting, say, 40 lakhs per year, 30 lakhs per year. They want to do something else. Why? Because they have started feeling that we are not living. I'm just, one of my friend's son, he told his wife that I have just reduced myself to an money earning machine. I don't want to continue. I want to do anything which is lighter, which gives me some space to live my life. So that is it. But how did it start? It's very important. Go back to the history. It actually started with privatization, more and more of privatization. Now, privatization meant that I sitting in Gurgaon would be catering to America. I sitting in Bangalore would be catering to America. I sitting in Bombay will be catering to America. Now the time zone changes, right? Now my boss saw, or his boss also saw, or his boss also saw that we are catering, we are extending our time limit. I'm no more feeling sleepy at 10. I want to cater to America because they would give us money. We extended our time limit, we extended our needs, we went into that consumerism, कि मुझे और चाहिए, I need more, dil मांगे more, all that. And then it became a way of life. That why, if so and so can keep wake up till 1 at night, why can't you? And it was very, very normal. When the day starts, there are family demands. So the person has to cater those family demands also. And ultimately, we all became a machine. Our youngsters, they became a machine. Our days were very good. It was like, work at workplace, family at home. Now with your mobiles, if you are told that don't bring your family at workplace, have you ever asked your boss that don't send work at home? But with your mobile, you are all the time 24 hours servant you are, or 24-hour worker, or 24-hour professional. And somewhere you started enjoying because the aura around was made such. It was a beautiful aura, it was a glamorous aura, and you loved that aura, and now you are trapped in that aura, and you don't know where's the hole of that trap, how to get out of it, whether I would be or I would be not. So actually, this validation, production, meeting targets, these are all ways of entrapping you. But it is you who has to realize that everybody started the same race. People who ran fast, you must have seen in long race like 400 or 600 or 800. People who ran fast in the beginning, we saw them getting out of the race. So you just have to wait and watch and be at your pace. But then that you have to decide that I don't want this promotion. I want a balance between life and work. If you're able to do that, you will run a long race. Otherwise, it will be rat race and you'll be one of the rats. That is what I feel as a student of psychology. Hanji. Your next question.
That was very insightful, and also that comparison you made between your generation and also the newer generation. There is no work-life balance. It did shed some light on the actual reality of the brutality of the workplace. So
Yes,
my
yes.
next question is also similar. So Shantanu Deshpande, CEO and founder of Bombay Shaving Company, says that when you are 22 and new in your job, put in at least 18 hours a day for 4-5 years. He said that work is worship. So what do you have to say about it?
Now, I'll just note down 18 hours and work is worship. These are the two things that he is trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Now, first I'll deal with 18 hours. How many hours do we have in a day? What is his name? Mr. Shantanu?
Shantanu Deshpande.
Shantanu Deshpande.
Yeah.
Yes, I've listened to Mr. Shantanu Deshpande's comment, and I don't know his age, but he must be having some reason to say that. But if I have studied my books well, and if I have studied geography or mathematics or anything, and if I calculate that there are 24 hours in a day, and Mr. Shantanu says that work for 18 hours, that means only 6 hours are left. I don't think it is being human. I'm sorry. It can be being a machine. It can be being a robot. But then early burnout. We talked about burnout. Now we are talking about early burnout. Aren't we leading towards early burnout? Yeah. And that is the reason why our youngsters are postponing their marriage age. They say, no, we don't want to get married. We don't want to get married. Because once you've started working for 18 hours and then you're not even sleeping, or you're taking some pills, anti-sleep pills or whatever, or some stimulants or whatever, because it is not possible. Humanly, it is not possible to keep yourself awake for 18 hours. So if you're doing that and then you are into that habit, and the amount of money that is pouring into your bank, you get so used to it, you get obsessed with it. It works like a nasha jisko hum bolte hain, and you cannot get out of it. You don't want to go back to your normal life, which means at least 8 hours a day. I have been talking to some children who have been preparing for IAS. So when I ask them, they say that we work for 12 hours. Good, good. If you're below 12 hours, I would say no, at least 12 hours. But then that 12 hours is your own target making and target beating. It is not, the target is not given by someone else. Whereas when at your workplace, the target is given by someone else. And maybe when you start working for 18 hours, the boss gives you target of 20 hours, so that you have to speed up. So it is not humanly possible. I'm so sorry that I'm commenting on Mr. Shantanu, but then this is what I feel as a person from psychology, and work is worship. I believe work is worship. But would you like to worship this work throughout your life, or only for 4 or 5 years? That is my question to Mr. Shantanu. And I would say, again, go slow. Go slow. This is a long race. Be a good runner, so that you're not exhausted, and you go on in your life working and living. That has to be balanced, but 18 hours is not a balance. I'm really sorry, but this is what I feel at this age, that I have achieved so much, but then I know that I have worked for my family also. So I feel that sab kuch ho jayega, but keep your balance. Balance is required. Yes, please.
Your definition of a human working as a machine was really, like, it is really true. And also the comparison and the lights you shed at the points where working for 16 to 18 hours a day is not human, is also really insightful and informative. So there is a new term shaming people who have a work-life balance, who draw boundaries and basically do their job and log out on time. They are called quiet quitters. So what do you have
They're
to say about this?
they're called
Quiet
okay, very
quitters.
good
Yes.
term.
So what do you have to say about this?
So, mm, if I am efficient, if I am a good manager, if I know myself well, especially for your generation, then manage your work well in time, finish it, and be a quiet quitter. Before you quit life, or before you quit normality and go into stress, before you quit life or normality of life and go into stress, I think it is better that I'm a quiet quitter. I would do my job and go back home. The boss will also get used to it. My family will also get used to it. The society will also get used to it. That this is what somebody has to be. We all are in a rat race. But if I explain it, किसी को ये नहीं मालूम है, हम सब भाग रहे हैं, बट किसी को ये नहीं मालूम है कि उधर जाके सब औंधे मुंह गिरे पड़े हैं. After an age or after a particular time of running, we all are falling on the ground. Don't know. Then we want some stress therapist, we want some psychologist, we want some psychiatrist to give us some medicine so that we can go on in life. So, quiet quitter is better than being stressed in life. I think I would conclude it like that. Haj.
So my next question is, so what are the healthy and effective ways to cope with stress at workplace? And how does therapy help in it?
Okay. 3-4 things that I would tell you. And the best thing and the first thing that I would like to tell my youngsters, that success is not always happiness. We are confusing these two. Ask anyone who's successful, does he derive happiness from that? Or he needs some more factors to be happy? Success is not happiness. One thing. Another thing I would say is that take control of your time, whether in office or at home, because time is 24 hours. If you want to limit your stress at workplace, you have to limit your stress at home also. Because workplace takes the stress, we take the stress with us to the workplace, and from workplace we bring back the stress at home. So take control of your time. Oh, let me be busy with mobile for some time. Now this mobile has done the best thing to the society today, but the mobile has done the worst thing to the society. Somebody was talking about this Twitter and Facebook. You post something and then first you give likes to others because they have posted something. Then you post something and you wait for the likes. Every minute you're opening your mobile and seeing ki kitne likes aaye hain, what is going on, right? It is like you have actually, in your free time, you have found a new job for yourself. And then you say that you are in stress. Free time, it was your free time, but you have found another job which gives you more stress than your actual job, which gives you payment. So you have to somewhere sort out yourself from where we started, that people deny that no, stress happens. Even I believe that as a human being, till the time I'm alive, I cannot get rid of stress. But then if I have my people around, like in olden days when I used to have my joint family with me, I could talk to my father-in-law, I could talk to my mother-in-law, I could speak to my parents. Now these days, you are trying to prove that I am the robot. I can do everything. I can manage everything at home. I can do pumping of milk for my child. This is what we are doing now. Everything has been turned into a machine. Motherhood has been trained into a machine. Everything has become a machine. And you are trapped in that machine. So you have to be a human being once again that was there. Go back to the joint families, they were there. Even now, your celebrations, they have become so mechanical. You have a wedding at your home, you send me a card, you send me the map behind the card. That means you don't want me at home. You want me to reach straight there, and from there I go back. So it was more of mechanical. I had to drive, I had to come back, I had to dress up to compete with you because you're so well dressed. What is the theme of this? We are no more enjoying anything in life. So we have to start enjoying. And the best formula is to act happy. To act happy. Even if I'm not very happy, let me at least act happy. I think it does good. It does good to your hormones. So if positive hormones will be released, stress ka farak to badhega. It will make difference. Yes, please.
And any recommendations or suggestions you have for youngsters and for others?
I would say about your economic needs. Cut out on your economic needs. It is very, I may sound very traditional, I may sound very conservative, or I may sound outdated, or I may sound different from others, but I would say cut on your economic. The worst thing to happen to you is save. You know, you saw me bringing those bags full. You did not need anything, but you say because वो गई है तो मुझे भी जाना है, right? Now the husband says I don't have money. The wife says, oh, you have ATM card. The husband says no, not even in ATM. The wife says okay, credit card. Now you are spending the future money, 40 days card, future money. The day we cut on consumerism, the day we say no, no to our वो जो है ना दिल मांगे वो, the day we say that, the day we come into contentment, we will start enjoying whatever we have.
True.
We will stop running after, I want this, I want next promotion, I want, we say that whenever we go to a new place, new job, new mobile, anything new, changes.
Ma'am? Yeah.
In change is always stressful. Change is stressful. So try to be with your routine. Try to be a little conservative. Try to be in your old place, in your old system. Be out of consumerism and contentment. The problem today is more of plenty than of scarcity. Stress is because of plenty. Plenty in the market, plenty at home, you're not able to manage it, you don't know how to keep it in the almiras, you don't know how to, save your money or how to organize your money. So please be a daily person. If you want to be out of stress, please be a daily person. Just today, I want to live my life today, that's it. And stress will be limited, of course. In these days, all of a sudden, removal of total stress, I cannot it. That is.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Whatever you said was really insightful, and it was really informative. It was also easy to understand. And thank you so much overall for sparing your time and shedding some light on areas we've never visited. Thank you so much for your precious time.
Please heard me out. Thank you. Thank you so much.